Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Exhausted Programmer. My name is Alexander, and today we will have the State of the Channel address for 2025. One of the ideas I have for this channel is every year doing a State of the Channel address where we look at the things that we will be doing for the next year, as well as looking at past years to see if we hit the goals that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the year and what we can do to go forward and what goals we can set for ourselves. But before we go into too much talking, let's look at two things that I can show off real quick for the new year. First is, I have a theme song. The second thing is I have a new camera. The sad thing is that for both of these, I could have introduced them a while ago. I've had this camera longer than I've had the YouTube channel, and I studied music in college for 3 years, as well as been performing music all my life. So to discuss where we are going with this channel, I first want to discuss about how I am structuring this channel in my head. The first thing is that there are 3 types of videos that I put out. The main channel content, which is basically all I've put out so far, and it will continue to be a 1 episode a week, long form video covering a certain project. In the future, I have 2 ideas in mind. Both of them are related for this year because this year the theme is full stack development. The first series to get us into a full stack development system will be the shorter one, where we will look at creating a to-do list app. The focus on it will be around the idea of creating a requirement for the app and then doing the minimum amount of work necessary to get that out there. This is a part of agile development. Minimum viable product is another term used for this kind of thing. And again, we're just going to add one requirement, meet that requirement as easy as possible, and move on. I do want to avoid any kind of mislead and just point out that I do actually have in my head where I want this to go. In fact, I'm probably have it in my head to reach the goal that we won't even reach in the series itself, because I do hope to use this as the app I use to plan out the work for my entire channel, sort of a in-house ticketing app. One of the things I will be creating tickets about will be for the second series, where we will look at a full stack development cycle for more of a real world example. I'm going to have data coming in, fake data that I generate, and it will be stored in a database backend, have a processing layer, and a front end for delivering that information to the customer. This series, the second series, will be focused a lot more on comparing different full stack developments. We'll try to do everything in Python for one instance and compare that to trying to do everything in JavaScript. We'll also take a more classical approach where the backend might be handled by MySQL and then do the processing with maybe C++ in the front end, probably still with JavaScript or PHP, and just see how changing out different parts of that stack with different tools can affect it in the long term. Since I'll be creating the data myself, I can create an extensive amount of it. I can put in all sorts of little things to help stress test the whole thing, and maybe we can even get some performance comparisons between the stacks. Going back to the concept of 3 types of videos, the second one I want to discuss real quick is the meta videos, which this is a meta video. I have another one planned where I will show how I make the videos for this channel, and I could do ones in the future about how I made the theme song or how I make certain animations I plan on using in videos. The idea behind them is to be less educational and more just documenting what's going on behind the scenes. They will probably be less polished than the mainline videos and more just fluid, less cuts, more vocalized pauses, that kind of thing. And for the third video, short videos, no theme, maybe not even a title card. Obviously there'll be a thumbnail, and just get to the point in the video and discuss it and very little else, and try to just stay as super focused as possible. Hopefully by focusing on shorter videos where the limit is 5 minutes, it makes it a lot easier on me to know what to include and not to include, as in don't include hardly anything. But on the flip side, if I do want to go deeper in that rabbit hole of whatever topic I'm discussing, just make another video and append it to it, and make playlists so that people can get the full experience if they want to, or they can find the specific video of the specific topic and not be bothered by all the other stuff I discussed about the topic that is not exactly necessary to know for the video. For the short-term videos, the 2 main topics that I want to cover first is one series about awk. To go deeper into that, I was completely caught off guard with how popular my awk video would become, and I just from reading the comments see that people want to know more information about it, or would at least be entertained with more information about it. The other one is I have been asked about my VimRC, so I want to do a video series looking at different things you can set up in your Vim RC file. If you're not familiar with Vim RC or Vim, that's just the file that sets all your settings, that makes it so that when you hit tab, you get a tab or 4 spaces or 8 spaces or however you want to set it up. And hopefully I can make a video or a series of videos so that you can go through and decide, I want that, I don't want that, or I want that with different settings, and you can make your own Vim RC file. I could do the same for Git. It seems like my Git videos aren't extremely popular once I got past the first one. But if people request things, then I'll know that people want it and I'll do stuff about it. And the same is true for any other topics that I can discuss at 5 minutes at a time or shorter. As for what I did last year, it is, worth pointing out that this is the first state of the channel address I've done. So there aren't any set goals that I had stated beforehand. The only thing I was really trying to do was to make sure that I was putting out a video every week for as long as I felt like doing it. I think it's a little dangerous to set your goals on things that you can't control, such as how many viewers you get, how many subscribers, because you're not only at the whim of the algorithm, but maybe your content just doesn't connect with enough people as you think it would. Or, maybe you're just unfortunate and someone else has already been there and doing a better job and you didn't even know about it. Also, last year, just creating the channel was one of my goals. Even though my first video came out, I think May, I had started on it at the very beginning of the year, setting up cameras, figuring out the angles you're going to use, figuring out the topics you're going to cover, how you're going to record the sound and video. All that takes time and effort and experimentation, and I'm still improving it, but my first few versions of videos were not even good enough to be put on YouTube. I could go into all the dead ends I hit, and I probably will when I make my how I make my videos video, but for now, just know that it does take a little bit to get that first video out, but once you get it out, then you can do it. The next one is a lot easier. The purpose of this channel was just to have something to do. I lost my job due to a significant size layoff at the company I was working at, where they let go of a lot of people. And I was unfortunate enough to be one of those people. And obviously I started applying for jobs, but you apply for jobs and you might hear back. But if you don't get the job, it can feel very demoralizing to do that over and over and over again. And so by making the YouTube channel and just committing myself to just seeing the video count rise, how many videos are on my channel, I can see that my effort does produce something. Despite not having goals as far as viewers and subscribers, the response I've gotten last year has been amazing. Over 1,000 subscribers, over 30,000 views on a single video, I'm pretty sure. Total probably approaching 50,000 views, although I didn't look that up. The point is thank you. Thanks a lot for everything you've done, watching, commenting, subscribing, liking the videos, and maybe even sharing them. I don't have a way of tracking that, but I can't imagine I have this many views if people weren't at least willing to share it with other people. I have recorded this video 3 times now, and so I don't think I've covered the goals for next year yet in this recording session. So let's do that real quick. I don't want to set goals for viewers or subscribers because I can't control that. It would be nice to see those numbers rise, obviously, but if I say I want 5,000 and I don't hit 5,000 subscribers, then I'll be disappointed based on actions beyond my control. So I want to make goals that I can achieve. I have some ideas about automation to make my videos better. If you weren't aware, I have a script that runs when I do all my bash commands, where it actually runs the bash commands, but it puts all the commands in a sort of clipboard so that there's no typos and the typing is of an efficient speed. It also deals with the whole problem of trying to type and talk at the same time. But there have been some complaints. Again, these are very useful to me. I'm not complaining about the complaints. But readability, where I need to fix some things with that, as well as people pause my video and the last line, the bottom line, is what they were wanting to look at, but because of YouTube's player, it covers it up. So I have a short-term solution for that, which I will show off in the next video, but to create a longer-term solution so that it's easier to read, easier to follow along, is definitely one of my goals. My second goal is to better automate my GitHub postings. Right now, when I make a video, I put in a link in the description to a GitHub page, which has my notes. I don't think there will be one for this video, but for the mainline series, you should find them. But the thing is, I usually do those very manually. I have GitHub and I know how to make bash scripts. I think I've demonstrated that enough this year, but sometimes just doing the thing is the last step that is the hardest to take. To maybe make myself not look to be the absolute laziest person, The reason why it hasn't been done before is because I am still improving the way I take my notes. The notes that are provided, used to, I would type those after the fact, and now they're being typed before the fact, and they are the script I use to make the videos. And since I'm already doing that and have been for about 4 weeks now, just having those in the right GitHub repository and ready to go is the main step, because currently they're just living on my desktop somewhere. Other goals to set for myself is to put out at least 50 mainline videos. There's 52 weeks in a year, so I can have 2 weeks off, in case something comes up. You can always backlog stuff on YouTube, so I can really not take those, or I can take more than 2 weeks off and still hit the goal. But, to err is to human, and I am very human, despite what some people in the comments might think. If you are looking for more of me, then you can always just go watch my videos on repeat for all eternity. That would be very nice. Or you can check out a friend of mine's YouTube channel. Every now and then he will invite me and someone else on to do a live stream where we have this sort of talk show set up. I am a guest. It's obviously his channel, so he's the host, but the link below will be found. His channel name is Low Value, but not spelled the way it sounds. It's an old joke going way back to when we were still in high school. And the third person who's in those videos with us, he also has a YouTube channel where he covers Elvis Presley stuff. So I'm going to put the link down below in case that covers anyone here. I don't expect it to be a huge overlap between my audience and his, but just in case, you can find that at the EAP Society in the link below. As I've already mentioned in this video, I'm pretty sure, and in previous editions of this video that didn't come out, I am super amazed at the response I've gotten from the audience, and I am very thankful for everything everyone has done, even people who make jokes or, just give me a thumbs up. Anything you do, any engagement at all, so far has been all positive to me. I think there is a tendency for sometimes people to read comments as negatively as possible, but everything I've read, there's always a way of reading it with a little humor in the voice. That means that there's no reason to think anything in there is negative just because someone says that one programming language is better than the other. I don't take that to mean that they absolutely believe that and they would fight someone who disagreed. To me, that just is someone just being very dramatic just for the sake of humor. I would advise everyone else to try to read comments on any place on the internet in such a way to not try to think of the world as negative as possible, but to give some benefit of the doubt that some people maybe just don't fully understand how text only doesn't really convey the same emotions and the same inflections as talking. And with that, again, everything I've read in the most positive light as possible and has been very encouraging. I've had discussions with people in the comments of my videos. I've learned things. I have made improvements to my videos based purely on what people have told me in the comments. And so it has been very helpful. So to do what every YouTuber does, if you like the video, please like it. If you want more, subscribe, and thanks for watching.